It's not morning. Good evening, everyone. So, right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about some real big boy stuff this evening because news has come out recently. Mainstream media are now reporting on nuclear winters, full scale nuclear Armageddon, life or death situations, and who will survive. Now, from an article that was released a couple of days ago. Let me share this with you real quick. Now, from this article here that was released, I don't know, maybe 2 days ago or something, they're talking about full-scale nuclear winter and only 2 countries will survive. So this is what I'm going from. Now, there's been a lot of work on this, and this is a big study that's been compiled over Am I on? I don't even know if I'm on, guys. Am I on? Am I on? Am I on? I don't know if I'm streaming. Should I start this again? Right, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Listen, if you're watching later on in the day, I don't know what's been happening. The internet's been so weird lately. So I'm on here, right? And if it cuts off again, it's totally not me doing it. However, I just shared with you guys the article there. And the article is from the mainstream media. Now, what they're claiming in that article is with the conflicts that are happening right now in the world, if there is to be a full-scale nuclear exchange between nuclear superpowers, we're talking about every nuclear superpower in the world right now, and I'm talking about a full-scale nuclear war. Now, I know people think that that is unlikely. I'm one of them. I'm one of the people who think that's unlikely. The reasons I think that is unlikely is not anything to do with like politics or diplomacy. It's something totally wild. However, if there is a nuclear exchange, the thing about nuclear exchanges, they don't go, it's like, you don't go, right, I'm going to fire one nuclear missile at you. Yeah, well, right, okay, we're going to fire one at you as well. How about that? And then the other one goes, yeah, well, I'm going to fire 2 at you. And then the other one goes, yeah, you're going to fire 2 at me. I'm going to fire 2 that are bigger at you. How about that? No. Nuclear doctrine and nuclear weapons, you fire everything. Because there's no going back. You don't know where these things are so devastating. They are so powerful and they release so much energy. It's not tit for tat. It's everything all at once right now. So literally you will have nothing, then total nuclear Armageddon within 24 hours. Now, from the study I just shared with you guys, this is backed by peer-reviewed scientists. And these are echoed in other scientific journals that have literally just been released. A lady called Annie Jacobson on a podcast and in a new book, Nuclear War, a scenario has laid out a nightmare scenario that's absolutely impossible to ignore. Now, If the world's nuclear warheads were ever unleashed in a full-scale nuclear exchange, and like we just said, these exchanges don't happen. So listen, guys, if you're joining for the first time, we are talking about the prospect of full-scale nuclear Armageddon, nuclear winter, who survives and why. And you know what? It comes down to the most fundamental elements of everything. And it's like the most fundamental things that humans can do. That's the thing that's going to make you survive. And I'm not talking about you guys having tins of beans in your cupboard. Yes, that's absolutely going to help. What I'm talking about is having the skills, the ability to push, to drive, to succeed, to move, and to, to support humanity. So what she's saying is, in an initial nuclear exchange where, 12,000 nuclear warheads were unleashed in a full-scale nuclear exchange, the initial fireballs would be reaching temperatures exceeding 100 million degrees Celsius. I mean, I think that's hot enough to burn bones. I do. I think that's hot enough to burn bones. It would kill hundreds of millions instantly, but that would only be the beginning of the nightmare. Yep, it would only be the beginning of the nightmare. The real killer, the researchers are saying, would be the aftermath. A total global nuclear winter. Kind of like what you're seeing right now in Iran, where soot, debris, oil gets blasted up into the stratosphere and it blocks out sunlight for years. Plunging temperatures, collapsing agriculture worldwide, and starving billions. Jacobson estimates that around 5 billion people, more than half of humanity, would die from famine, radiation poisoning, and the breakdown of society. Entire continents would become snow-covered wastelands for decades. Places like Iowa, Ukraine, the United Kingdom, just endless snow. No crops, no food, just snow. So you can imagine the migrant crisis now, right? Trying to get to southern, south closer to the equator. Now, in the study's stark conclusion, only two countries on Earth are likely to come out relatively intact. That doesn't mean that there would be survivors, which I think there would. Certainly me, I'm not going to die. I'm not dying anytime soon. So in this study that concluded, in the case of a full-scale nuclear war, there were only two countries that were going to come out relatively, intact, as in, by intact, we mean with a functioning government, with functioning services, with law and order, right? Now, those two countries are, you'll find out those two countries after the ads later. No, I'm only joking. I'm not going to do that. The two countries are New Zealand and Australia. Now, because of their isolated geography, southern hemisphere location, and ability to maintain some, here it is, guys, agriculture, even in the darkness and the cooled conditions, give them the best chance of survival. Even there, however, life would be grim. People would still be scraping for scraps underground, fighting in perpetual darkness. Now, if we think about that, if we consider that, okay, one of the things I always say, I don't always say it on the channel at all. It would be a blatant fabrication if I said I always said it on the channel. One of the things I say quite often on the channel is, Pete, you need to be able to grow your own food. And look, I know I'm not the best. Like I'm by far the best. Like we grew potatoes in like 2023, I think. Fantastic. Like we had shitloads of potatoes, loads of potatoes. The girls, they were going out there, they were finding potatoes, they were getting their fingernails. It was beautiful to watch the girls looking for potatoes, and they're running in a bucket and they were cleaning them. Oh, look, Daddy, we made these potatoes, we're going to clean them. They were eating all their potatoes. You know, these potatoes taste so much better. They didn't. They tasted exactly the same as normal potatoes, right? But the girls thought they did, and they ate their vegetables, which was which is a good thing. The year after, we tried to grow tomatoes. It was an absolute fucking disaster. Like, the bushes grew, but we didn't get any tomatoes. I don't know what happened. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is, like, agriculture and having the ability to grow food, as per this study, is going to set you in better stead for the apocalypse than, your tins of beans under your bed. Yes, of course, your tins of beans under your bed are going to be great. But being able to refresh that bit, to be able to renew that, and to be able to keep continuing a continual growth, that's clearly a better option. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm talking about is not some sci-fi dystopian speculation. This is built on decades of climate modeling, scientific research, defense studies, and real data about how modern thermonuclear weapons interact with the atmosphere. And it lands at the absolute worst time ever. So this study was going to be released at this point anyway, right? It just happens that when the study was released, it's looking like we're heading towards World War III. So right now, the Middle East is literally on fire. The Middle East is literally on fire. The United States and Israel are absolutely pounding the shit out of little old Iran. They are in Operation Epic Fury. Iran's retaliating with missile and drone strikes across the Middle East, across the region as well. A US-linked tanker's just been hit. The Taliban are clashing with nuclear-armed Pakistan on their borders. The Azerbaijanis are on full military alert after Iranian drone strikes hit their territory. RAF Akrotiri, the British air base in Cyprus, has already been targeted by drones. And just this morning, we heard of an explosion at the US Embassy in Oslo. And just this afternoon, we heard that Kentucky International Airport has been evacuated because of a suspicious package. Now, the timing of all of this is absolutely chilling. Nuclear powers are now directly engaged. Threats are flying, escalation ladders are relatively short, and when leaders talk about unconditional surrender, regime change, and hand-picked new governments, the risk of miscalculation happens fast. I've always said the war in Europe that's coming, it's going to start by accident. We won't be told initially. That it was by accident. But that's how I believe it will start. Miscalculation from the Russians, miscalculations from the West, and all of a sudden, within a couple of hours, World War III started. The Russians are blaming Europe. Europe's blaming the Russians. Doesn't really matter anymore because we're in a war now. Doesn't matter. And like I keep saying on so many live streams, so many videos, we are heading towards that stage in humanity's evolution because we are all in this together. We're all in this together. And look, let me just throw this out there. I just want to build spaceships. I really do. I just want to build spaceships. I don't want to build bombs. I don't want to build tanks. I don't want to build drones that go and hurt people. Although that's where the money is, right? I want to build spaceships that take humans from Earth to the moon, then from the moon to Venus, then from the moon to Mars. Additionally, making a few quid on the side by asteroid mining. That's what I want to do. Unfortunately, right now, there's no money in that, so nobody wants to do that. Oh, and listen, for those of you guys, let me see if it, yeah. So for those of you guys who were asking for an update on the new weapon system used in Ukraine, I have actually, oh God, I've got quite a lot actually, yeah. Hang on. Right, I've just got a massive data dump there. So for those of you guys who are asking for an information on the new weapon system used in Ukraine against the Ukrainians, I have got an update. Yes, there was a new weapon system used in Ukraine against the by the Russians against the Ukrainians. This is now carrying basically it's a long-range missile. Well, it's not a long-range missile at all. It's a medium-range missile. It's a new missile. It has an 800-kilogram warhead and a range of 1,500 kilometers. Now, if you think what I just said, 800 kilos of explosives, right? 800 kilos of explosives, yeah? Think about that, 800 kilos. You know these little drones, these ones? They carry maybe 1 or 2 kilos of explosives. So when people are coming up on the chat and they say, oh, but Sean, drones are putting precise munitions on the thing. I'm like, no, they're not. That's not the case at all. What you're listening to is fake. It's bullshit, all right? These little drones, do you know what, actually? I was speaking to my friend the other day who actually manufactures these, and he says they can put a 7-kilo payload at 20 kilometers. Okay, so that is the high-end stuff. Okay, 7 kilos of warhead explosives, right? 7 kilos at 20 kilometers. The Russians are doing 800 kilos at 1,500 kilometers. So you understand that people with these little things here, they're not game changers, guys. These are not game changers. They are replacing artillery. I would argue not as good as artillery, but they're certainly changed. They're giving a different option to artillery. Now, listen, let's jump back, guys. Let's jump back instead of going down a side quest, okay? So here in Britain, we are not on the front line yet. However, we are absolutely not insulated from this war, or from any war, actually. We've allowed the United States to use our bases for defensive strikes. Our ships are heading towards the Mediterranean to bolster Cyprus's defense. Oil prices are absolutely soaring. Now, I don't know if you saw the global... Let me just try and get this up here now. Global oil price. Global... I'll share this with you. Give me a second. Global oil price. I need a graph. Graph. In fact, that'll do. Right. Okay. So I'm going to go to the 28th. I'm going to find the 28th of February. Oh God. There we are. Right. So I'm going to let me share this with you now. When we talk about the price of oil, which is going to affect everybody, it absolutely is what I'm talking about now. I'm just going to share this real quick, guys. Okay. This is the price of oil. This is from eToro. Reject all. So this was the price of oil on the 20. Well, that's the 20. Right. There. 20. Right. Okay. Whatever. Right. That was the price. Can you guys see that? That was the price of oil on the 2nd of March. Right. Just as soon as the war started. And look what's happening to the price of oil. Up. And look at this there since the 6th. Up. It's not going down, guys. It's not going down. So, all those people that are, thinking about, oh, but Sean, the price of oil's gone up now. Yeah, guess what? It's going to go up a lot further. So the price of oil is soaring. Petrol, heating bills are going to bite harder. Migration pressures from conflict zones are building along the channel. Community tensions are absolutely simmering right now. Now, the study I just spoke about is talking about what the absolute worst case scenario looks like. And the worst case scenario is 5 billion with a B, with a Bravo, and like what, 12 zeros, 5 and 12 zeros. It's a lot of people, guys. That is a lot of people. 5 billion people transcended to beams of light. 5 billion people gone to the candy shop. Only Australia and New Zealand with a fragile shot at rebuilding humanity. That's not a future I want. Is that a future you want? I know it's not a future I want. I want a future. I'll talk about my future in a second. Now, every step we move closer, and every day we move on, where there's more tanks, more bombs, more destruction, more death, more chaos, more carnage, that makes the off-ramp harder to find. Now, I don't think there's an off-ramp anyway. I don't. I'm pretty convinced there's no off-ramp. But what I'm getting at here is we are heading down a path, whether we like it or... Well, listen, I've got no say on it, right? We are heading down a path, whether we like it or not, where... Remember what I said? Remember last year? Remember last December? Last December back in... Zip 25. What a very special time for me. You guys can remember, right? Back in December 25. And I said to everyone, those of you guys who've been following me long enough, I said to you guys, I said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I said, look, we are going to get to December 2026 like this. Yeah, things weren't so bad. Things weren't so bad in December 2025. And that's where we're going to be, guys. I promise you. Like December, this December, we are going to look back and we are going to remember how shit we thought things were in, excuse me, in December 2025. And we're going to look in December 2026 and we're like, yeah, I just wish it was December 2025 again. Right, listen, guys, let me jump up and get some chat. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we are talking about some real big boy shit this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nuclear winter. We are nuclear winter, full-scale nuclear Armageddon, life and death stuff. Who will survive? And remember, we are absolutely heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale. Right, Cassandra Walker says, Sean, I find it absolute... No, I find... No, she does say that, actually. That's me again, reading messages before I think I know what they say. Sean, I absolutely find it amazing from watching you for years. You have actually predicted everything. I saw a new guy come in and ask what your background was. Fair play to you and thank you. Cassandra, thank you so much. And on that bombshell note, ladies and gentlemen, Cassandra, have you liked, commented, and subscribed? And if you're not watching right now, I hope, you know, if you're watching right now for the first time is what I meant to say. If you're watching right now for the first time, can you please make sure you hit those buttons down below, ladies and gentlemen, the like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, all those buttons that help this channel grow, because ultimately it's only your fine fingers that help this channel grow. And listen, I don't waffle about what's happening now. What's happening right now to me, to you, it should all be old news. Yes, today's news on this channel is old news. Why? Because we talk about the future. We talk about what's coming in the future. We give the options. We say, right, okay, I see 3 possibilities. And if X, Y, and Z happens, possibility 1 happens. If A, B, and C happens, possibility 2 is happening. And if, I don't know, D, E, F happens, then possibility 3 is going to happen. So when you break these things down, they're very easy to predict. James Brooke is saying oil facilities in the Middle East may shut down completely. I agree. James Brooke, was you on the live stream? Was you on earlier on today? This is exactly what I was saying today, guys. So earlier on today, do you know what? I don't know if you saw my Prepping 101 video. And for the members, I did a longer video to the members, and I explained all this stuff to the members. So if you guys want to become a member, that would be a great time to do that. But for those of you guys who are looking at the first time, James Brook is saying oil facilities in the Middle East may shut down completely in 3 weeks. I think it's a lot less than that, because they're starting to run out of storage space and the Strait of Hormuz has shut, so can't get rid. Apparently, it takes a long time to run again. Absolutely, yeah. So if you're one of the members, I did a longer video on this, and basically, imagine the oil companies, right? You're pumping this beautiful golden nectar out the ground without fermenting it. Can you imagine that? God, that would be amazing. Look at the clarity of that. That is a beautiful brew. I made that myself, yeah. So imagine you're pumping this oil out the ground, right? And your normal supply and demand chain is, I pump this much out of the ground, I either refine it or sell it as crude to someone else, and they refine it, whatever. It's supply and demand. It goes, right? Now, what happens when you can't get rid of your product? It's not like you're buying shoes from a warehouse to sell on a market. If you're pumping that shit out of the ground, right? You're pumping it out of the ground. You have to turn the pumps off because you only have limited storage. I think the Saudi Arabians have the Saudi Arabians have the most by far. They have like 2 months of storage or something. The Iraqis, they have by far the least. They have like maybe 4 days of storage, because this sort of stuff's difficult. It's expensive. So once your storage facilities are full and the oil's still pumping, imagine having a hot tub, right? You've got a hot tub and you've turned the tap on. If you can't get rid of that water, it's going to overflow. You can't hold any more water. So you have to turn the tap off, right? Now, the problem with gas and oil, and look, guys, I've done quite a lot of, I used to work on the oil fields in southern Iraq, in the North and South Ramallah oil fields at Rue Camp and CMP, the CMPC camp as well. If anybody, Energy City, if you guys know where that is and anybody's done any work down there, massive oil producing regions. So I have got a little bit of experience of this. Now, if you turn the switch and turn everything off, you can turn it off like that. Easy to turn it off. You can't just turn it back on, because think about it. Every one of those well heads goes down. Imagine you've got a well head now. Where's my straw? Ground level, well head, submersible pump at the bottom, pumps it up and out through the wellhead, right? Once that's turned off, you can't just turn it back on. Rocks, stones, bits, it might be clogged up with whatever pressure. You can't, so then you have to send an engineer. You literally have to send an engineer to take that out, to refurbish it, to put it back in, and then it'll start again, maybe. So can you imagine the global, the problems in global oil fuel supply? This is why I said earlier, look, guys, if you have the capacity right now, even though the price of fuel has absolutely rocketed, guess what? It's still cheaper now than it's going to be next month. And guess what? Next month, it's still going to be cheaper than it's going to be this time next year. So yes, absolutely, you're 100% right. Right, listen, guys, I'm jumping down. I do apologize if I'm missing anyone's comments. And I will, listen, guys, I will, as always, try and prioritize the comments in green. Israeli media, Israel is preparing for another 5 weeks of war until after Passover. Yeah, we said it's not going to be a quick, conflict. American troops captured in Iraq. No way. Let me Google this. US troops captured in Iraq. So listen, Google Enos, right? I've not read this article. I'm going to speculate right now. that these are US Delta Force, very minimum US Rangers. They are with the Kurdish fighters that are potentially going to be pushed into that northern region. Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what's happening in the future, you guys need to hit those buttons, because I was literally saying exactly this from day one. I was telling you what's coming. Let me just Google this real quick. American troops captured in Iraq. Right, Iran claims American soldiers captured in Iraq, but US denies. Right, okay. Okay, right. So what I'm hearing, okay, so what I'm getting here is this is a private military company. And look, guys, I'm just speculating right now. So what I'm reading from this article, the United States denies any US soldiers have been captured. However, that doesn't mean the article's false. It just means the wording needs to be, it just means people who are reporting on it don't know what they're talking about. So we all know, we all know that there are lots of ex-military, I used to be one of them, who work for private military companies, who go to foreign countries, they do X, Y, and Z on behalf of the governments. Now, they are not US military. They're not British military. They're private companies. That private company could be registered in Barbados. It could be registered in Cuba. It could be registered anywhere. All right. It doesn't really matter. However, if you've got 20 years experience working for the US military, and then you leave the US, let's just say you are you're a Master Chief. I don't know. They don't have Master Chiefs. I don't know. You're a Sergeant Major, right? Master Chief's Navy. If you are, that with Navy SEALs, and Navy SEALs are a bit gay. They are. I think a lot of Navy SEALs are homosexual. They're just in denial. If you are a warrant officer, class 1, a Sergeant Major in US Delta Force, right? And you leave US Delta Force, and the very next day you are working for a private company, are you going to forget all your military experience, your training, your ability, your skills? Are you just going to forget them overnight? No, of course not. So this is this is another, I mean, I guess it's not new. This has been happening for quite a while, with private military companies, and I mean, they call them mercenaries. I guess they are. I guess they're mercenaries. Mercenaries kind of seems negative. I don't think they're mercenaries. Military contractors. Let's call them military contractors. So that's what I think that is. Right, listen, guys, I am jumping down. There's far too many. Milo is saying aliens will save us from ourselves. Well, I hope so. I hope. Do you know what? Maybe I do. Maybe I hope there's going to be I think I prefer there's going to be an alien war. Right, listen, guys, I'm literally jumping to the bottom right now. There's so many comments. I'm going to start with Donna. No, I'm going to start with Lisa. No, I'm going to start with James. James is saying, I saw US troops captured on Al Jazeera or whatever it's called. They had them we put on TV for propaganda, so I don't believe it. It may be true, it may not be true. You can use military contractors, right? And still say we are not using military troops. We're not using US troops. We're using US contractors, which is a totally different thing. Lisa Jane is saying to all the ladies on here, happy International Women's Day. What kind of sorcery is this? International Women's Day. That sounds gay. Hang on. Oh my God. International Women's Day is celebrated on the 8th of March. Celebrating women's fight for equality and liberation along with women's rights movements. International Women's Day gives focus on issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence and abuse against women. So, like, I thought that was a joke, actually. Okay, look, I don't want to be like a caveman here. We love women. Every man loves women. Is there an International Men's Day? Let me just Google this. International Men's Day. Oh no, there is 19th of November, International Men's Day. I didn't know this. Listen, guys, I was today years old. International Men's Day is celebrated annually on the 19th of November. Recognize the positive contribution men make to society, promote gender equalities, and focus on male health and well-being. Founded in, yeah, okay, so there is an International Men's Day, right? Right, I'm just going to go with it, right? Listen, to all you ladies out there, happy International Women's Day, right? I hope you're feeling empowered, like, with your equality. I hope you feel equal, and I hope you feel liberated. You know, I do. I hope you all feel liberated, and I hope you feel liberated and equal. It gives issues to gender. What does reproductive rights mean? I'm a bit confused about that. That doesn't sound right to me. What is reproductive rights? Let me Google this. What is reproductive? Reproductive rights are human rights that empower individuals to make free, informed decisions about their reproductive lives, including if, when, and how to have children. This encompasses access to contraception, safe and legal abortion. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm with women's. I don't know if I'm with this International Women's Day. Right, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave it there. You know what? I'm going to do I will do a live stream on this tomorrow. I'll do a live stream on this tomorrow. Right. Donna Prepper is saying, independent, Trump holds phone call with Starmer after row over UK joining the war after it's already won. Right, okay. The United Kingdom was never... Listen, Donna, we love Donna, and I know Donna does. You're a singer, are you, Donna? You're a beautiful singer with a beautiful voice, and I know I think I insulted you a couple of days ago, and I said you did like ASMR or something. I do apologize. Donna does like songs and stuff, and you can tell by her beautiful microphone and how she's grasping it with two hands. So the United Kingdom were never going to get involved in this conflict. No, the war in Ukraine is going to kick off very soon. Like, real soon, the war in Ukraine is going to kick off, and then British boots on the ground are going to be there. And then Keir Starmer, all of a sudden, is going to look like some sort of big shot war leader. He is. Can you imagine? Do you know what? Hang on. Right. You're going to want to wait for this. You're going to want to wait for this. I'm going on AI now. Hang on, give me a second. Generate. Right, I've just asked AI to generate me a picture. This is going to be so funny. Give me a second. Oh, that doesn't work. This is the so Keir Starmer's trying to ban X right now. Hang on. Sorry, you're gonna. This it's worth the wait. Trust me, it's worth the wait. Oh, he's waiting. He's waiting. Right. So Keir Starmer's trying to block and ban X again. It's done. It's done it. It's not letting me do it. It's not letting me do it. What I was trying to do there is I was trying to get AI to get me a picture of Keir Starmer and David Lammy being totally gay. Donna again is saying US intends to attack Iran's nuclear sites to complete the job of terminating Tehran's nuclear threat. You can't do this. You can't do this by the air, guys. You really can't. These sites, you can bomb them and bomb them and bomb them and bomb them. The only way to confirm whether they're out of action or not is to send someone in there, right? You need to send some engineers in there. You need to send some like scientists or whatever. And, they need to understand what's happening. Let me check this again. It's still searching. It's not doing it. Cassandra is saying, it baffles me, Sean, why the government won't take your letters. Maybe they're scared and they're so corrupt then don't want to know what's coming. So back in 2023, literally, do you know what? I'll get it up for you. Give me a second. I'll read this for you. I will read this for you. Do you know what? I may even be able to show it you. Give me a second. I can't show you because it's got my name and my partner's name, not my gay partner, my business partner's name on it. So I can't show you, but I'll read it. I'll read you this letter that I sent to the MOD back in. I think this was. I'm pretty sure that I sent this letter to the MOD in 2023. I think it was 2023. So the MOD back in 2023, they were. Let me just scroll down and find it first. So back in 2023, the MOD were looking at problems they were looking at drone warfare. And they were saying, right, okay, there's huge problems here with, in fact, it's not there, is it? Back in 2023, the government in the United Kingdom were looking at the situation in Ukraine, and they were saying, right, okay, how do we counter this problem, right, with drones? Let me give you a snippet of what I said to the MOD. This was in 2023, all right? So like 3 years ago. It might be early 24, okay? So what I said is to the MOD, and I've got the reference number. It was definitely sent. It was acknowledged. This is what I said to the MOD. I said, dear sirs, the RFI that you requested, request for information, the RFI outlines requirements for countering drones flying at speeds of 320 kilometers at altitudes of 12,000 feet, 3.6 kilometers. While these specifications match capabilities of current Russian drones with standard internal combustion engines, they do not account for the next phase of engine advancements. It's highly likely that adversaries will soon upgrade their drone technology with a turbocharged internal combustion engine, enabling them to fly much higher and much faster. These evolutions would allow drones to evade defenses outlined in your proposal, rendering them less effective and leaving air defenses playing catch up. So basically what I'm saying there is, quite politely, is the information you've asked for is already outdated, right? And ultimately, like, young private soldiers are going to have to pay the price. Okay, so what I did then is I went through the problems, okay, the limitations. So right now there's a lot of these, like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. It's all bullshit, guys. It's literally bullshit. Like, back in 2023, the stuff that all the government right now are scrambling about it. They're scrambling about, oh, we need this, oh, we need this, oh God, this is happening. I've got documented evidence that I've been warning the government what's happening now from at least 2023. At least 2023. So the limitations of ground-based radar systems, right? So any ground-based system, such as phalanx, you know, the machine gun that goes, they rely heavily on radar for target detection and engagement. However, their radar coverage is limited to a very small radius, typically under 10 kilometers. Now, due to the line of sight constraints and terrain interference, this is absolutely insufficient for example, jet-powered UAVs operating at 20 kilometers altitude. Not a chance that's going to pick it up, all right? So cross that off the ground, okay? Battery-based copter solutions. So, you know, these things that everybody thinks is the face. It's not. These things are not changing the battlefield, guys, at all. Why? Well, I'll tell you. Any copter-based solution integrated with ground-based radar, rapid response models, whatever, they face significant performance constraints because battery-powered drones lack the capability to fly fast and high simultaneously. They also lack the altitude. These little propellers, those little propellers are not going to get to that altitude where a jet's flying. Not a chance. So waste of time, waste of money, forget about it, okay? Now, multi-layered solutions. Now, multi-layered ground-based defenses. While multi-layered ground-based, you know, they seem robust, concentrating drones in a single area of risk where rapid depletion of resources could occur. As soon as these engines upgrade on the Shaheeds, which they already have, it renders it all useless, pointless, doesn't matter, forget about it, wash it under the carpet. The millions you've spent. We have copter-based interceptors that can destroy a drone for the price of a bottle of... Yeah, shut up, you lunatic. The technology is before... And this is the problem. When that technology is funded, because of the time it takes to fund this technology, because the battlefield's changing so quick, the Russians, they just build shit in their sheds, right? For me to build something for the military, first of all, I've got to have like all these ticks in the boxes, even to speak to the military. They won't talk to me unless I've got staff that are secret cleared, unless I've got certifiable cybersecurity, all this bullshit, right? The Russians are innovating shit in their garages, right? So ultimately, what I'm getting at here is with drone warfare, ultimately, private soldiers on the front line, they're gonna pay the price. They are absolutely gonna pay the price. They're gonna put their faith in these little quadcopter interceptors. Look at all the moving parts there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these parts need to be put together. Little motors and engines and soldering. It's not feasible. It's not feasible at scale. And when we are, as we are, looking at a global conflict of an industrial scale, not a chance, ladies and gentlemen. It's done, it's finished, it's over. It ain't coming back. And that is why we, the West, are going to lose this war because of bureaucracy. Right, let me jump. Google is saying, Sean, stop waffling. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Google. I need to stop waffling. Silly Gallardi is saying, we had a local security team talking about a drone yesterday with a rifle. I don't know what that means, Silly. A drone with a rifle? I don't know what that means. Like a rifle? I don't know what that means. I feel sorry for your wife's ears, Sean. Google Enos is saying NYPD bomb squad investigates possible explosives near Gracie Mansion. Is that another one in the United States? Let me just Google this real quick. NY. Wow. Okay. So, right, I'll just share this with you guys like super quick. So yeah, as Google Enos is saying, there's been a device. There's been a device, homemade explosives hurled near NYC Mayor's mansion during a protest could have caused serious injury or death, police say. So what I'm going to throw into this and what I'm going to add to this is what I said on the 28th. It takes time, okay? It takes time to plan, to execute one of these operations, right? For example, homemade explosives. Now, I don't really know that much about homemade explosives. I didn't go down that demolitions path. What I do know about homemade explosives is it's homemade, so you can make it at home with everyday materials. What I do know is this sort of stuff, once you make it, it degrades over time. So once you've made it, it's fine, it works. 24 hours later, it's not going to be as potent. 48 hours later, definitely not going to be as potent. So you can't make this stuff and have it like in a locker somewhere and pull it out and then pull the pin. You have to make it. Now that takes time because you have to gather the materials, you have to gather the funding, you have to say goodbye to your wife and kids, right? Because some of these missions are one way. So when we get headlines like this, homemade explosives hurled near NYC Mayor's mansion during protests, to me, because of the timing, because of the direction, because of what's happening in the world, it just screams of sleeper cell activity. You know, it does. It just screams of like real world sleeper cell activity. Remember, you know, there's several layers of attack that we are gonna come under in the West. First of all, there's the what? Hang on a minute. Let me stop waffling. Let me stop yapping. Sean, UK news first. No, you're right, Four Paws. Right. Glasgow is on fire. A huge fire is broken out. Right. Are these two things connected, Donna? Right. Let me Google this. Sorry, guys. Let me Google. I didn't really. Oh, hang on. Sharon Owen is saying, Sean, get Googly's post. Glasgow's on fire. Oh, God, right. Okay, right. Sorry, guys. Let me get this right. Let me get Googly's post first. Right, so Glasgow is on fire. Right, let me jump up, guys, and let me get this. Sorry. Oh, I've totally missed this. Right. Oh no, I totally missed that one, didn't I? Right, Sean, get Googly's post. What's that one? Right, Googly, can you put your post again, mate? I think I've missed it. I'm scrolling up. Oh, right. Listen, sorry, guys. Right, okay. Right, Sean, get Googly's post. Right, I'm almost on it. I'm almost on it. Self-radicalized ISIS protester used explosives called Mother of Satan inside bombs thrown at Gracie Mansion's protest. Right, sorry, guys. Are we talking about this Gracie Mansion thing? Right, I think we are. Okay, okay. If I've missed anything on that Gracie Mansion, I think I've done that. Let me jump down. Yeah, please get my post above. Right, okay. Right, guys. I'm gonna jump to Glasgow. Right, I'm just gonna jump to Glasgow right now. I'm gonna give you everything I can find on the mainstream about Glasgow. Sorry, guys. When I'm monologuing, I sometimes I don't look at the chat. Right, okay. Oh, right, okay. So I'm just getting this now. Free, right. Live updates. Right. So I'm try and find more information about this, guys. Give me a second. Right, I've got this from the BBC. Let me share this with you guys. So there's been a huge fire in Glasgow. Now, as far as I can tell, this is originated from a vape shop, Paddy Power, or maybe even Subway. Firefighters tackling a blaze at a building in Glasgow city centre. Close to Glasgow, fire crews, smoke could be seen. Yeah, it looks like it's there, right on the left. That that vape shop that we saw before. Right, okay, right. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have thank you for this, guys. Thank you for pause. Thank you, Googly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at I'm going to try and find what we can. I'm going to try and find what I can. I'm going to try and look what I can find on X, and then I'll share that with you guys. Glasgow vape shop. There's probably someone live streaming. Right, okay. So, right, wow, guys, right, let me share this. Right. Does this look like a vape, like a little vape going up? I'm adding to this, guys. I don't know if this is legit or not. I've no reason to doubt it. I'm trying to find that Paddy Power and Subway. That looks like it could be Subway at the bottom, but this looks like it's from the other end of the street, right? I mean, that is an intense fire, guys. That is an absolutely intense fire. Look at the flames going out the top. Listen, I don't mean to be cynical, and I am being cynical. I'm being absolutely cynical. That looks like propellant. That looks like a propellant fire. Yeah, that looks like propellant. So a lot of this stuff, okay, so there's a certain type of explosives that you can make. I'm not going to tell you what it's called because I don't want to, I don't want to endanger anything, but I've done courses on this. There's a certain type of explosives that you can make that would absolutely give off a flame like that. 100% they will give off a flame like that. If anybody wants to question me and say I'm scaremongering and you're from the police or whatever, come and see me personally. I will tell you what type of explosives I believe that is. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to mention any. I'm not going to mention. So you guys can remember, right, when before everyone was talking about ricing, and I was saying that there are chemicals you can make that you can pour into the water that are harmful. There are others as well. Very easy to make with everyday materials. And what I'm saying right now is that fire. Look at the ferocity and the brightness. It might be the camera. Look at the ferocity of those flames. They're not licking. They're propelling out, right? I.e. propellant. Wow. So these are the fires in not Birmingham, in Glasgow. I've got another video. Okay, so I've got another video now from the other side, and this video looks like the fire is kept under. It's lost its ferocity. So I'm going to share with you guys this now. Now, this fire looks like a normal fire. So what I'm going to share with you guys now looks like a normal fire. This is what I would assume is a normal fire, not a propellant fire. And you'll see the difference, right? You will absolutely see the difference. So can you see the difference now? How the flame, I mean, it's still a brutal fire, but can you see how the flames are not propelling out? How the flames are not pushing themselves out? Like it's just normal burning. The oxygen that I'm getting is relative to the flames that I'm producing.
No residential homes, just fire.
I mean, that does look a bit intense on the top, actually. I'm going to take that back. Maybe the propellant's just caught.
Officers, sorry.
And what are all these bits falling out? I fucking swear to God, guys. I swear to God, I know exactly what this is. Jesus Christ. Look, guys, I promise you, I know exactly. Jesus Christ. I know exactly what this is. It's a very unstable form of Okay, right. I'm going to close. I don't want to say too much. What I'm going to say is, for entertainment purposes, right, for absolute entertainment purposes, allegedly, reportedly, right, if I was a betting man right now, looking at Jesus Christ, let me just, hang on. Yeah, let me share this video with you again. Let me share one more video with you. The whole building's gone down. The whole building has gone down, guys. Listen, I'll tell you what I think it is in a second once I've shared this. Look at that. The whole building, man.
I'm not late for that, mate. Get the bulldozers in. Give in the moment. Give in the moment. Smoke that boat.
That would be such a great.
Right, okay. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, if I was a betting man, and I'm not really that video, but the previous two videos I just shared with you guys, I can probably identify the exact type of explosives that has been. Okay, right. Let me rewind this, right? Okay. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes, reportedly, this is totally not true, right? However, if somebody was to show me those, not that video doesn't really give much away, but the last two videos I just shared with you guys, if somebody was to share with me those two videos and say, Sean, what kind of explosives do you think was being burnt in that building? There's only one answer I would give them. I'm not going to give it to you because I don't want anyone to Google it. I don't want to let that information out there. I don't want people to know how easy it is to make like homemade explosives, and it really is. But some of the things we saw from those previous videos, and thank you Googly and 4Paws for sharing that, really. But some of the things you guys could see from those videos, the things projecting out on fire, that's a tell. And the sheer ferocity of the first video I shared, where it just looks like there's a blowtorch coming out the window. So yes, I do think that was, my professional opinion is that was explosives, guys. No, not a fertilizer compound at all. Something a lot worse than a fertilizer. Right, let me jump up, guys. I'm going to get the last comments, and then I will start to close this live stream down. Googleinos is saying, no way. The United States is under attack, guys. The United States is absolutely under attack. Now, listen, do you understand now? Does everyone on this live stream right now understand why Keir Starmer, Britain, could not get involved in this war in the Middle East? Do you all, you know? And now we've got a meteor in the sky. I don't believe this. We are literally everywhere. Googly, are you just floating my boat, Googlinos? Hang on, I've got to Google this. Meteor seen over Germany. Jesus Christ. Yep, Googleinos. Googleinos, you should, like, honestly, Googleinos, you are the best. You are absolutely the best. Right, so Googleinos has just thrown this out there. Total left flanker, right? A meteor has just been seen over Germany. Meteor over Western Germany sky. Video shows bright object. Get away. Oh, God, what have I done? Streaking across the sky. Now, it could be a missile. It could be a drone. It's not a drone. Wow. Meteor streaks across the sky, broke apart in the atmosphere. Okay, so first of all, a couple of things, right? We are wholly unprepared for a meteor strike or an asteroid strike. Like, there's no denying it, right? We are not prepared for that sort of stuff at all. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I am going to close this live stream down. I'm absolutely going to close it down, right, for two reasons. One, right, my phone has been buzzing like a schmuzzing, and I've got a load of work to do. So, listen, you know, you guys now, laid in your bed, on your settee, whatever. When I close this live stream down, I don't leave this this fantastic chair. I stay in this fantastic chair and I do work. I do work. I probably work 18 hours a day. Yeah, at least 18 hours a day. That's how I roll. So listen, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down. Thank you to you guys who've sent supers, Lisa Jane. And thank you, Sharon Owen, for being a fantastic 7-month member. Right, Sharon Owen, can you confirm that you've got a different emoji every month? Sharon Owen, can you please confirm that you've got a different emoji every month? Because I know you have. I made sure every month gets a different emoji. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's just roll this back, okay? New studies are out. They're talking about nuclear winter, potential nuclear Armageddon here on Earth, where life or death may be a scenario that people may face. And the only two, as per science, the only two countries that will come out relatively intact, as in with a functioning government, functioning like a functioning country, is Australia and New Zealand. All right. So let that sink in for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. And on that bombshell, I bid you good evening, and I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 10. I'll see you in the morning. Don't be late.